Hello, this is a video on how to play the card game Diloti. There are multiple versions of Diloti. We'll be going over a common two-player version where the objective is to win the match by reaching 61 points before your opponent. And so, in terms of points, players obtain points when they take cards during the game. Aces and the 2 of clubs are worth 1 point each. The 10 of diamonds is worth 2 points. And then if you take more cards than your opponent, also aka you have the majority of the cards in the game, that's 4 points. If you completely clear the board, or a board sweep where you get rid of all the cards on the board in a single turn, essentially making the board blank, that is worth 10 points. So, aces, 2 of clubs, 1 point each. 10 of diamonds, 2 points. The majority of the cards taken in a game, that's 4 points. And then a board sweep is 10 points. So, a game starts where each player gets 6 cards in their hand and 4 cards are placed on the board. So, as you can see, I have 6 cards in my hand. My opponent also has 6 cards in their hand. And there are 4 cards placed on the board. Do note that a standard 52 card deck is used for this version of Diloti. Each player then takes turns by using a card in their hand for each turn. When all hand cards are used, the round is over and a new round begins where each player gets 6 more cards. The game is over when all cards in the stock deck have been used up. Each player takes turns by performing either a drop, a take, or a join with 1 card in their hand. A drop involves placing a card in your hand onto the board. Do this. So you'll typically want to do this when you cannot take or join anything on the board. So once again, a drop is just placing a card from your hand onto the board, essentially discarding a card onto the board. You usually drop cards when you cannot take or join anything on the board. You cannot drop a card when you own a join on the board. And we'll talk about a join later. You also cannot drop a face card that already exists on the board. So notice how there's a king on the board right now? I would not be able to drop another king on the board. That is only for face cards. So there's a drop, a take, and a join. A take. Let's talk about a take. So a drop is just drop a card onto the board. A take involves taking cards from the board with a card in your hand. You can take 1 or more board cards when they add up to any multiple of the value in your hand card. For example, you can take a 4 and a 6 on the board with a 10 in your hand. You can also take a 4, 6, and 10 on the board with a 10 in your hand. So let's look at this here, right? So there's a 10 on the board. What we'll do, there's also a 6 on the board and as well as a 9. What we'll do is we'll take the 6. Okay, so we'll take the 6. So we'll take our 6 and then we'll simply take that 6 right there, right? Once again, a take can be used to take a singular, any set of cards that adds up to the value of the cards in your hand. And so even if you had a 6, a 4, and a 10, you could take all 3 with a 10. The 6 and the 4 add up to 10, so you can take that. And the 10 itself adds up to 10, so the 10 could capture all 3. So that's a take right there. So we have a take and a drop. Unlike with number cards, you can only take 1 face card from the board with a single face card in your hand. This is because face cards are not assigned a point value or a number value, unlike number cards. For example, you can only take 1 king from the board with a king in your hand, even when there are 2 or more kings on the board. So that's what a take is. Do note that in this case we cannot perform a take, right? And so what you would do is you would simply, in this case, I'll drop a card on the board here. So give me a second here. My controls are not working, right? Well, remember, you want to perform a drop when you cannot perform a take or a join. And so we saw a take. Drop is simple, a take is simple. What is a join? A join is an unbreakable collection of cards. Joins are made from a user's hand card and one or more board cards. The user which performs the join owns the join. Number cards can be joined, face cards cannot be joined. So, joins have a value set by the user that must equal the sum of the individual card values. For example, a user may own a 7 join on the board that is made up of a 4, a 2, and an ace. Right? So you can make a join like so. You join cards in order to control how cards are taken from the board. That is, you must take the joined cards at the join value, not by the value of the individual components. For example, any user can take a 7 join of a 4, a 2, and an ace only with a 7. In this case, a user cannot take the 1 with another ace because, the ace with another ace, because it is joined with the other cards to make a 7. So we are going to keep playing until we can see a join. Once again, I cannot perform. So each player gets 6 more cards when both players run out of cards, right? In this case, what I'll do is I'll try to... I'll perform a join here. So notice how there's a 3 and a 4 on the board. Notice how there's a 4 and a 3 on the board? I'll join them with the 7. Okay? So, do note that you can only perform a join with a card from your hand. Note that I did not have to put that 7 there, okay? I could have put another 3 and joined it there. So, note that my join has a value of 7, right? And so the join has a value of 7 there. And so I took that 7 with my 7. Okay? So why did the join have a value of 7 there? Right? Essentially, you might be saying, okay, that was 4 plus 3 plus 7, but joins have one more component, which we'll talk about, and that was highlighted right there. So you can join a hand card to your existing join by keeping the join value the same. So you can join essentially to your existing join by keeping the join value the same, right? And so that 7 kept the join value the same there. We had a 4 and a 3 and we put another 7 on there. Essentially, if you have a join of a certain value, you can put, so let's say we had a 4, a 2, and an ace. That's a join value of 7. We can join another 7 onto there and it'll keep the join value the same. Remember, you can only take a join by playing a card of the same value as the entire join. So let's say we joined this 7 and 2 here. So let's say we joined, what we'll do is we'll join our ace with the 2 there. And so that forms a 3 there. Then my opponent joined on by placing a 2. So Do note that you can take your join or your opponent's join. The ownership of the join does not matter when taking joins. The rules simply state that each opponent can only own one join at a time. Okay, and so do note that you can join onto your opponent's join. The player who most recently added onto the join owns the join. So notice how the color changed from red to yellow. That means ownership was transferred to my opponent. The ownership of the join was transferred to my opponent. So that is how ownership of the join is transferred there. So take, join, drop. Drop is simply dropping a card. Taking is taking a join, a set of cards or a singular card by playing matching cards. And a join is joining cards on the board by cards with cards on your hand to form a set of cards that represents a singular value. The objective being to take as many cards as you can, right? So that's essentially how to play Diloti. We won't go over the rules anymore. Just do note that board. We'll go over the points, but other than that, there are no more rules. Just do note that it is quite simple here. So we'll go over the points one more time. But other than that, we won't go over the rules again because would be quite extensive, and I feel like a demonstration would be more beneficial. So aces and the 2 of clubs are worth 1 point each. The 10 of diamonds is worth 2 points. If you have the majority of the cards in the game, and so that would be more than 26, right? Because then your opponent would have less than 26. You'll get 4 points, and each board sweep or when you clean the entire board, that's worth 10 points. So what we'll do is we'll actually take the king there. So that's what we are going to do. Reason being, there's no real reason, right? You just want to take as many as you can. So we took that king. Now, my opponent took that join with a 5, so that was very strategic. What we'll do is we'll take this jack. My opponent put down an 8. All drop my... all dropped my 3 here. So I dropped my 3. Now each player gets 6 new cards. All take the queen. He formed a join of 7. Right? So he put a 4 and a 3, and if you put a matching value card onto the join, it does not change the value of the join. What I'll do is I can't really take that. I could try. I can't add a 4 on. Reason being, the maximum value of a join would be 10, right? So, and there is no... If I add a 4, that would put the join value on to 11. So even if I tried adding onto the join there, I would not be able to, right? So I cannot make that move. What I'll do is I'll take that 9 there. I don't want to join there, but I'll simply take the 9. Yeah. There we go. So my opponent just got a zeri, which is also known as a board sweep, and so they got 10 points. So that was a very bad move by me. I should have placed one of my face cards on the board to prevent him from getting a board sweep there. So that was a very, very bad move by me. Very, very bad move by me. What we'll do here is we'll join the 6, the 2. We took them. We didn't even do a join there. We simply took them. Right? Sometimes it's more beneficial to join if it means you can set up for a better take next time. Sometimes it's more beneficial to simply join. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go for a join here. of 10. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to then take all of those. Notice how I not only took the singular card there, I also took that other set of cards. You can take as many cards provided that the group of cards you're taking, provided that each group of cards you are taking adds up to the card there. So there we played a 10. We could take each group of cards that added up to 10. So that was our solo card there as well as the group of cards there, right? What we'll do here is we'll do note that you can only form a join if you have a card in your hand that would be able to take the join. So the score for the opponent is 14, mine is 7. And so we'll play another game here. This time I won't talk, I'll simply play. That's a join right there. I'll take that. Oh, sorry, I don't want to join there. I'm simply going to take. So I took that join right there. Take that queen right there as well. Take that jack. And I'll take that 10. Take that 6. I'll take that. So I'll play that 7 there. What we'll do here is we'll take that king. So that was a 10 right there. So I know he will do his best to take that 10. And so notice this join here, okay? We have an 8 and a 2. That adds up to 10. You might be saying 8 plus 2 plus 3 plus 7 is 20. Well, that's not how joins work here. The 8 and the 2, that's 10. So we're done with that. Then the 3 plus 7, that's 10 as well. We add on a 10. The value of the join is still 10. The value of a join is based on the value of individual groups of cards in the join. And so notice how here we have individual groups of cards in the join that have the value of 10. That gives the entire join a value of 10. And so this is ridiculous. That player just took a lot of cards there. So that was very smart. Okay, so what we'll do here is we'll take the king, take the 3. I join the 7s there. Oh, wait. Okay. That's another group of 7s there. And now, so that's a 7. The 4 and plus 3, that's one group of 7. Right? As long as you only have groups of that value in the join, that maintains the value of the join. So 4 plus 3, that's 7. Then we have a 7, that's 7. Then we have a 7, that's 7. Every group of cards in the join is 7. Therefore, the entire value of the join is 7. Now we can take that. Do note that you can only make a join if you have a similar valued card in your hand. So that's a join of 8. What we'll do is we'll add on to that join, making it. But we can't make it 9 here. Why? Because I would not have a card in my hand to take the join. So it does seem like he has. No. Yeah, there we go. Oh no. Okay. We're going to. So it's not going to work here, right? So what we'll do is we'll. So you cannot... Also, if you have a join, you must take it, so it's risky. You cannot just... So, the reason why I was trying to drop a card is because I knew that he would get a board sweep if I did that. No. Simply want to take those. I don't want to make a join. Now I got a board sweep. So now the score is 27-25. So once again, we'll keep playing just so you can sort of really understand how to play here. It's quite a simple game. It's very, very fun. No! He took my move there. I got greedy. What happened there was I got greedy. And now he's getting free board sweeps. I got so greedy there that I effectively screwed myself for the rest of the game. But that's okay. It happens sometimes. We just have to bounce back here. Right? You have to fight. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll drop a 6. And then we'll drop a 3. Right? And then we'll go for a nice join here. Oh, I wouldn't have a card in my hand to take the join there. Oh no, I can just take those right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to okay. So, 6 more cards to each player. Nope. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to form a join here. Join of 8. Therefore I can take that. Hopefully he doesn't have a jack, and he did. So, news flash to self, don't give the opponent an opportunity to board sweep. Why? Does not usually go good. Okay, so he's at 66, I'm at 27. My opponent therefore won the game. Right, so that wraps up how to play Diloti. It's quite an easy game. It's very fun. I hope by watching me I was able to give an accurate demonstration. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.